Alrighty guys, I am Pure Phoenix and I am back here with a ladder game between Big Boy from clan onsBigBoi versus the that is the Red Terran Big Boy from team onsBigBoi. Spawning up the top right side, going down to the bottom left side you will see the Blue Terran Hotlips from team Trick or Treat, which is a Chinese professional team. So both these players are top 100 Grandmaster on the SEA server, which really means it's going to be quite an exciting game. So today I had the opportunity to participate at the NAS Gaming LAN in Adelaide, which was really enjoyable. Personally, I didn't actually expect any success because I was the only person under diamond there, being gold myself, and then I think there was one diamond and everyone else was masters with a couple of grandmasters. So I managed to take a game off a masters, a guy from the NAS Gaming clan, but other than that, yeah, I kind of lost my other 4 games. There was a losers bracket as well, and that was really kind of an enjoyable experience. The winner of the LAN was Edge, who beat Taserenix, which was kind of inevitable. A lot of people were predicting that Edge was going to come out on top in that match, in that tournament, and yeah, he was kind of expecting it himself, as he posted in the thread asking what the prizes were, or what the prize was. So nothing too unusual from either player so far. We saw a gas go down at 13 for Hotlips, while a partial supply depot starts for Big Boy, just to finish the wall in and prevent any early scouting, which Hotlips may or may not set out to do. So yeah, I did actually meet a lot of cool guys. I met the Protoss player Bard, who casted the tournament, and yeah, that was pretty cool. You could listen into the stream as the certain matches were being streamed and commentated. So yeah, I'd like to participate in more LANs and attend them in the future. So I also encourage anyone else to do so, because this is a pretty good experience. And now both players trying to scout with the SCV. Neither will have any luck. The Hotlipses might even go down. The Marine micro of Big Boy will make sure that that does happen. Meanwhile, Big Boy's SCV, there it is. So that SCV goes down. Meanwhile, Big Boy's SCV could have actually got in there, but didn't try to. And Big Boy goes straight for the expansion at 19. So right on 3 minutes 45, the orbital has finished and more Marines are being produced, while Hotlips goes for a Reaper opening from his barracks with Tech Lab. So the SCV is going to head out and probably grab an expansion himself. Yeah, he's saving up the minerals, and down it goes for Hotlips. So fast expansions for both players, and now a bunker going to go down for Big Boy. So just a standard 1 racks expand from Big Boy, no gas or anything required, while Hotlips went for a Reaper opening. This Reaper here, we'll see what kind of damage it can cause. So it takes out 1 SCV on the Zelnaga, and I wouldn't head in that way if I was the Hotlips, because there's a bunch of Marines waiting and they get a few shots off, take it down to 32 health, and that is all that Reaper's going to do from that path. Maybe scout out a third, but that's kind of unlikely at 5 minutes in the game. Even a Zerg wouldn't really have that. So it's queued up. Ooh, that's probably not the best path for that Reaper, because that bunker will definitely gun it down if it doesn't change. So Hotlips could lose this early Reaper while he resets. Oh, there it is, spiraling in the air and exploding, and this Reaper being much wiser and choosing not to do so. So combat shield being researched for Hotlips while he produces Marines, and his expansion almost finishes. Meanwhile, Big Boy makes his expansion a orbital command. So that expansion was slightly ahead of Hotlips, as Hotlips did get the gas and the add-on for his barracks, getting that Reaper as well. So if you look at the income tab, Hotlips is actually leading the income tab. They have equal harvesters, but yeah, Big Boy's mining from 2 gases, so that kind of explains it. So 4 barracks now for Big Boy, 1 with add-ons, 3 without, and Stim being researched straight away. So we could just see a lot of Marine play early, which is of course extremely viable. Unless your opponent has tanks, then that would not be advised. So bunker now going down for Hotlips as well himself, while his Stim just begins as well. But now his Marines do have combat shield up to 55 health, compared to the slightly weaker Marines of Big Boy, although I'd say numbers is probably going to be stronger. I'd rather have numbers than have 3-4 Marines with combat shield, although that bunker will definitely hold off this attack, and that Reaper almost loses its life but manages to get away with 8 health. But the Reaper opening for Hotlips probably wasn't as effective as it could have been. I don't know what he was thinking with that bunker, why he didn't try to get up maybe here, jump up here and then hit the mineral line, but even on this map in general there's not really an easy way into it. So it probably wasn't the best call by him, but that's alright, he's a Grandmaster, he probably knows what he's doing. So yep, factory is slightly ahead for Big Boy, and although stim timings and everything else are slightly similar. So 2 reactors going down now for Big Boy, and he's going to start heading down that marine heavy road, but there's no way that Big Boy will actually do any damage here, and I think he works that out pretty quickly and heads home. So 3 barracks up for Hotlips, although he has had those add-ons on his barracks up for a while, having that tech lab since the start of the game, and those reactors going down shortly after. So factory finishes and starport begins with a reactor being added onto that factory. So we will see fast medivacs for Big Boy. Meanwhile, we might see, yep, the exact same for Hotlips, doing the trick where you get the reactor and build the starport at the same time, because they both take 50 seconds to complete, and then you can just swap them over and you're ready to produce 2 medivacs at a time. So pretty similar. We do have +1 attack coming in for Big Boy somewhere. Where's that engineering back? There it is, at the back. So +1 coming in, and I'm not sure about that supply depot placement, maybe just so that he can see any kind of attack coming, although he probably just used the main path. Hotlips probably for drop scouting, so that's probably smart by Hotlips. I like that idea, because a drop isn't gonna, well, the drop might drop and kill that off, but it would delay the drop and give Hotlips time to get into position. So Marines kind of standing in positions across the map, so Big Boy does have the map control advantage at this stage, and if you have a look at the army tab, he's also leading the army tab slightly with just a few more Marines, but there is actually no other bulk unit, so both have the same. Big Boy did get supply blocked, although 2 supply depots will finish shortly, and yeah, kind of good. I really do like the map control from Big Boy, having these Marines around, and he might actually, yeah, he will scout this supply depot, so Hotlips will have to pull some. You gonna attack it, Big Boy? Hotlips will have to pull some. That sounded really weird. Are you gonna attack it, Big Boy? Anyway, so he will see this drop coming, Big Boy. He will see the 2 medivacs heading over, and they do drop and take out that Marine. But yeah, missile turret now in place for Big Boy. I was probably in place before he even noted it, but he'll be extra cautious. Yeah, as you can see, a few Marines of his own heading back into his mineral line. So still good map control by both players, and I can just see a lot of drops coming up soon, so I'm going to try to keep up with them to the best of my ability. And a 3rd is going down for Hotlips, so he will soon take over on the harvesters and income tab count, etc, etc. So siege tank coming out now for Hotlips with siege mode. I'm not sure, siege mode's only half finished for Big Boy, so those siege tanks will be ready earlier for Hotlips. And as you can see, I really think Hotlips and Big Boy are 2 kind of interesting name choices for StarCraft players. There could probably be something a bit more fearsome, but I know Big Boy myself, and he is a great guy, so I'm not going to comment too much on that choice. And as you can see now, this siege tank is sieged up, so if these Marines even take 1 step inside, we will probably see them take a fair bit of damage. It's all going to be about tank lines, as everyone knows. Everyone who knows TVT knows well, and a little drop here that I'm not sure if it actually took anything out. I don't think it took anything out, but just a drop up here who might walk out and take out the supply depot himself. And this expansion finishes for Hotlips, so 3 bases to R3 bases as well for Big Boy. He can go land that shortly, and he did stim there for some reason. I'm not sure why. I didn't actually see anything that was worth killing. But yeah, he did stim there, and he'll probably get a good drop away on this 3rd. Meanwhile, tank lines are set up all around the map for both of the Terran players, and that's just a standard TVT. So a drop goes down here for Big Boy. We do see a lot of SCVs go down, maybe 4 SCVs in total, and there's not really much coming in terms of stopping it, but Hotlips has stimmed his whole army and tried to get back in time. I really think the stim might have even ended by the time he gets there. So yeah, the stim actually did end by the time he even got there, and Big Boy beams it up and gets out of there nicely. So that was a good drop by Big Boy. He took out a lot of SCVs, and of course HotlipsToT stim really for no reason, although with those medivacs it's not going to make too much of a difference. So this third goes into place for Big Boy and becomes a planetary fortress. SCVs being transferred there, and a new batch of Marines and tanks. So good map control by Big Boy. He will pick up this scout. They are healing up over there. Yeah, so this drop is going to go in, but it's not really going to do too much damage, although he manages to drop one Marine, and so 11 health that medivac gets away, carrying 350 resources worth of Marines, and he'd want to be careful about how he brings that back in, because that Marine there, 2 seconds worth of attacks for that Marine, and that medivac will go down. So will Big Boy notice that? No, so he's going to actually drop it, play it safe as it's such a weak medivac, and transport those Marines back manually by walking. But he's going to get trapped here by Big Boy's other forces of Marines. That medivac does go down, and he won't have that advantage anymore, which Big Boy does have. He's got so he comes out on top in that slight engagement, and I think we're 1-1 to 1-1. Yeah, 1-1 to 1-1. Neither player has an armory as of... Oh yes, an armory goes down for Hotlist, but he's getting weapons upgrade, so weapon upgrade for vehicles, so he will be getting those siege tanks upgraded, Dem siege tanks, and that could be an interesting turning point of the game. And Big Boy's almost finishes level 2 infantry. It's about 3 seconds away, and level 2 infantry armor is going to finish as well. So 3 siege tanks, and siege tank getting a few shots away there, although that siege tank is caught out of position. Now sieging up is Hotlips, and Big Boy just has the sheer numbers. He'll take out the siege tank, while Big Boy has a siege tank of his own blasting away at the back, and the cries and screams of the Marines, and that medivac does go down. So Big Boy did win that engagement, and that was really the bulk of Hotlips' army. If you look at the supply, Big Boy is now leading by 36. These Marines could probably be taking out the supply depot, although with both players being able to facilitate a 200-200 army, it is probably not going to do too much. So now Big Boy would probably... Yeah, so a lot of Marines going to support these siege tanks. They were caught alone for a while, but it's not like there's any Banshees in the game to pick them off. And this supply depot does now go down. Big Boy finding that and killing it. So Hotlips only... his supply only goes down by 4, so nothing too worrying for him. And this planetary fortress is now pretty much saturated for Hotlips, and Big Boys is almost the same. Their mains should be close to mined out. Yeah, they are. A lot of mineral patches are gone, and Hotlips wants to get rid of these destructible rocks so he can have a better concave for an attack. But Big Boy has a maxed out army. His Marines are at level 1-1. His siege tanks are at level 1-0, and I think it's the same for Hotlips. No, 2-1 actually. Hotlips does have 2-1. So sorry, when I said level 2 upgrades coming for for Big Boy, I actually meant Hotlips. He's almost 2-2 now. But these siege tanks sieging up, they will actually be able to do a lot of damage on that planetary fortress. But the SCVs are just going to have to repair. But that's really money that Hotlips wouldn't want to be spending. And probably bad move from Big Boy to step into the line of fire of those tanks. Although now the whole of each of their armies are here, but there's not really much Hotlips can do until these tank lines are pushed back. Although with the siege tank attacking the planetary fortress, there's really not too much that Hotlips has to worry about, and he manages to take out all of the tanks. And now it looks like, there's still a lot of units in the middle of the map, but supply counts have almost evened up, and Big Boy's just going to run right up here while he's still got stim activated. Hotlips' stim's ending, and he can't really afford to do another stim, so sieging up from Big Boy, but he's losing a lot of his army. He's lost almost his whole army, but those sieges, every shot they get away just does so much damage. And Big Boy does lose his army there, and he'll even lose these medivacs by the look of it. Hotlips stimming to try to take them out, but he's still managing to produce a lot of Marines, etc, etc at once, throwing down 2 more barracks here. He's now running, so there's a bunch of, there's about 6 Marines that join the army only to discover they'll not actually fight unless a medivac does go and beam them up, getting them into the battle. But I think every time Marines are trained out of here, that's where they're going to be sent. So slight rallying error. Yeah, one seems to just slot in there, and one seems to actually go to where it's meant to go. So 5, 6, 7 barracks with reactors, 2 factories with siege tanks, and a 4th base now up for Big Boy, while a 4th base goes down. Or no, a 4th base is down for Hotlibs, and a 5th is about to go down for Hotlibs. So now both players are kind of scared to move out, because if you lose the bulk of your army at this stage in the game, which both players done at least once already, you are really not in the best shape. So sensor tower is down now as well, which is good at detecting any kind of drop. I mean, it's money you don't need to spend early, but at this stage in the game it's a very good idea to have at these expansions. And now Hotlibs is kind of ready to move out. Big Boy is sieged up slightly, so he'll run straight into the tank lines of Big Boy, and Big Boy manages to take out all of the Marines, but there's just so many siege tanks. I think Hotlibs has got he has enough siege tanks probably, but this is kind of just the awkward moment while they shell each other away. I think most likely Hotlibs is going to come out on top, but really I can't see. Needs these Marines to come in and suck up some shots. A siege tank, 3 siege tanks now come in for Big Boy, and I'd say Hotlibs is in trouble. Big Boy's probably got, yeah, he's got a lot more tanks here, and he does actually have Marines. He drops Marines right onto those siege tanks, so well played by Big Boy with that drop. And meanwhile, a drop takes place up the top left on the 5th of Hotlibs, and Big Boy throws down a 5th himself of his own, knowing that he's slightly behind on the base count. Not that it matters, as his army is just so strong at the moment. If we look at the harvesters, Hotlibs is leading by 22 harvesters, so if you look at the supply count, you can only you can do the math and realise that Big Boy must be winning about 30 supply in terms of army. So he's going to shell away this planetary fortress, and maybe take out the SCVs from behind. Yeah, that's what he was intending to do, although it's not going to work, I don't think. So Hotlibs' main army's in the middle. There is a small force of Marines here, and now Hotlibs moves in and takes out the 5th. Well, there's just so much going on at the moment, so this 5th looks like it probably will go down for Big Boy. He will lose his 5th, although all of those, a couple of shots on those SCVs and they would have all faced the wrath of Big Boy's siege tanks. But Big Boy himself at 190, still got this good map control with these Marines everywhere, and I'd say Hotlibs is in trouble. All the production of Big Boy, he has all of these barracks here. He's only gotten reactors, he just needs Marine tank. Both players going for Marine tank, but Big Boy pulling it off slightly better. So TBT is such an interesting matchup. Big Boy manages to take that one out, but yeah, it's so fragile. As you've seen, there have been moments where both players have kind of thrown their armies away unnecessarily. Like here could be a good example, and Big Boy does, he stims and takes out almost what is left of Hotlibs' army. Tanks managed to get a couple of shots away, getting a few kills each, and Hotlibs is probably about to face a death blow. So this base here is going to go down very quickly. He can try and repair all he wants, but there is 4 times as many Marines as there is SCVs, and when they are stemmed with level 3 upgrades, there's really not much hope. And meanwhile, there's a lot of Marines and tanks down here for Big Boy. He's still at 190 supply himself, while Big Boy's at 198 supply, while Hotlibs is only at 160. In terms of harvesters now, Big Boy's actually taken the lead, mining at 2... he's only really mining at 1 base at the moment. This base is almost completely mined out, as is this one. This one is mining very saturated, but it will be mined out soon due to that high number of units, and then he will transfer all 73 of his harvesters to this planetary fortress. But I do believe by that stage in the game it will be over. So Big Boy going with a massive drop of Marine right into the production facilities. Missile turrets do take down a couple of medivacs, but there's a lot of Marines in here for Big Boy. There's a page worth, so about 30 Marines, and Hotlibs is kind of just stuck. It's like a big maze happening. I think there's also a siege tank. Yeah, there's actually a siege tank in there. I've got 17 kills just blasting away at those Marines that run in. And meanwhile, Big Boy will just run in the front door of Hotlibs as well. So, very well done by Big Boy. A lot of drops, I like that. And as you can see, Big Boy is easily going to take out this game. Well, easily is probably a bit of a harsh call. It was a 28-minute game. But he's going to take out the game from this point. It is 170 supply to 115. There are drops happening in 3 different places, and it really won't be long before the death blow is delivered, and Hotlibs gives that GG. So He should be mined out. Yeah, he's mined out at his second now, and he's mined out at his main. Almost mined out at this third. About 400 minerals left on each patch, and then they're all going to be hitting up the southeast corner. But the siege tanks make moving out not an option for Hotlibs. He's got all his SCVs with him, trying to attack, but really this one's just over. Surely siege tank's taking out what's left of those siege tanks. He doesn't actually siege that one up, and it gets beamed up with like 4 health left. So nicely done by Big Boy. Big Boy still leading the supply count, leading the army tab, leading the harvesters tab. There is no way Hotlibs can get back in this game, especially when he is mined out at all of his bases and he doesn't have anywhere. He can mine here, but that's not really an option. Transferring isn't really an option with the current setup of Big Boy, and attempting a long distance mine, but that doesn't happen. So GG, well played from both players. Big Boy from Team Onslaught manages to beat Hotlibs from Team Trick or Treat on ladder. It's hard to dissolve this one because it was a TVT mirror matchup, but I think just better tank positioning kind of won it for Big Boy, and he managed to keep his production facilities. I mean, it's not a really good representation of it now, as Big Boy did kill half of them, but he had better production facilities throughout the game, as he did go for that expansion first. Hotlibs did go for the fast Reaper with his barracks and tech lab, but he sacrificed the first Reaper running it past the bunker, and the second one died. Oh no, sorry, got away with 8 health, but didn't manage to get a kill itself, so they didn't really pay for themselves. That's 100 gas thrown away, where they could have been bringing back minerals. So that would have been 120 minerals or so extra, and that's really where Big Boy just took the lead early in the game. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this cast. I'm going to be coming up with a lot more casts soon, so stay tuned as always. Leave feedback below and subscribe and comment and all of that, and I do appreciate that. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you later.